2024 polls, NDC criticizes EC for unconventional calendar release. This is by Hansen Ajiman. The National Democratic Congress has raised concerns over what it perceives as an error in the Electoral Commission's public disclosure of the electoral calendar for the upcoming 2024 elections. The party asserts that the Electoral Commission failed to directly communicate the election itinerary to political parties, relying instead on media publications to disseminate their information. Mustafa Gbandi, that is the Deputy General Secretary for the NDC, expressed his discontent in an interview with Citi News. Gbandi emphasized that the party learned about the electoral calendar through media reports, characterizing this approach as unconventional and detrimental to the Commission's reputation. Let me quote him so we move on. It's quite unsurprising, very unprecedented, for the first time in the history of our country, that a commission has failed to provide a calendar of each work. After the 2020 election, 3 years, 2 months gone, we are having 10 months to elections. Stakeholders do not know the lineup of the activities and the budgetary time that it puts to it. The EC wakes up and now decided to come to the public through the window instead of its doors, instead of avenues to communicate to the public responsibly and as an institution do that, which is in the interest of the people. I'm coming to you, Larry Dogbe.
Yeah.
What do you think about the NDC's assertion?
This is what is there a case where no one is listening to the EC, or the EC is just a power on its own, or the stakeholders are not communicating
properly?
Okay.
Maybe the communication chain.
Yeah, but I get confused all the time, you know, with the back and forth. You get it? Because, I mean, the EC, you should know that you are stakeholders in all this. And your main players or partners in this game are the political parties. So before you come out with some of these things, you need to engage the political parties.
Right.
You just don't throw things in the air. Sometimes you go to bed for God knows how long until somebody issues a statement. Then quickly you see them rushing out to come and say something, and then off they run back. Okay, I recall last week, Omani Buama, that is the director of election and then IT
NDC.
For the NDC, went on his Facebook page and then commented about how, you know, the 2024 election was going to run into trouble because the EC hasn't, you know, come out with, you know, the calendar yet. Then within 24 hours, you had Bosman Asari issues a statement inviting the political parties to an IPAC meeting and so on. Just then Mustafa Gbandi is coming out with this. I don't know what's happened in between, you know, Omani Buama's statement and then Bosman Asari's release. That is
what we got yesterday for the release of the calendar.
No, but then they were inviting the political parties for a meeting.
Have a stakeholder meeting.
So why wouldn't you wait for the stakeholder meeting? Let's jaw, and then decide that, oh, okay, this is good, we can do it this way or we can't do it that way and so on. But just throwing things in the air, I mean, it's as though, you know, unless of course you have some power behind you,
that is urging
you to do the things you do, and then regardless of the outcome, you just don't care because, hey, I mean, or you have a certain plan or an agenda that you are operating by, and that all the others can go to, you know, can hack the transformer next door. That is what it's looking like. Because, see, I mean, in our time, we've lived with, we are young, I mean, we've lived with Dr. Ofori, and we saw, you know, his approach.
His tenure, it was great.
We saw after him, we saw Charlotte Osei. And mind you, she was not driven out of office on the basis of, you know, her confusion with political parties. I think during her tenure, she also cooperated a lot. But to have Jane Mensah, EC boss, IEA boss prior to that, who provided platform for people to talk and, you know,
and
take on
exactly. She should know better.
She should know better.
Dissemination of information.
Exactly. And you need to improve your game. And not just her, but Edumwa, I said Edumwa, sorry. Bossman Asari. There used to be Edumwa Bossman. Bossman Asari, who had taught political science in a classroom. University of Ghana, of all places. Okay, you can't talk about political science without talking about you know, Bossman Asari. And this is what you are doing. So you see, the classroom rhetoric is different from the practical
things. Yeah.
And I'm saying that unless, of course, you have a power behind you, which has given you all the confidence you want, or you have an agenda, then you'll be operating this. You'll be operating like this. Listen, 2024 election, I mean, the stakes are too high.
Too high. To make mistakes from the beginning.
Exactly. The stakes are too high. You know. Listen,
you are lost for words.
No, I'm not. But you see, you are careful not to say certain things. Yes. Okay, these are people who have military escorts all around in their homes and so on. 24 hours, military escort.
Yesterday, Geoffrey was saying the same thing.
Yeah, Afarijan was driving around town.
Normal.
People said they would occasionally meet him at beer bars and so on. And he's sitting down, chatting, drinking his beer.
When you
smoking.
do the right thing, which he knew do.
Well, yes, he was driving himself. But the new crop of EC officials we have, they have military detachment with them. Those in their homes, those who move to churches with them, and those who, you know, they go to radio stations and the military people are waiting for them. When you do the right thing, you don't need to fear anything. You don't need to fear. You don't do that. Engage the people. Engagement is the key. It is participatory democracy. We don't set up a democratic structure just for us to come talking. But then we set up the democratic structure and give you a job to run for the country. And this is what you're doing. Who are you fooling? Or who are they fooling? And what is... I don't hear MPP talking about these things. Unless, of course, they are comfortable
with the rules of engagement.
Yes, or they are the ones remote controlling. No, I'm saying that
unless of course, there was a question.
Yeah, you leave room for speculation. And then the election will go, somebody who might have won free and fair. However, because of your antecedents,
yes, there will be questions hanging. Right, right.
And the president has promised a free and fair election. I hope he's also watching these things and might have an idea, because he and others went to court. Abu Ramadan was in court. Who else was in court?
Let my vote count.
Let my vote count was in court. Gabi did, you know, they went on the street. He went
on a rant, yes.
I mean, guys, man.
Larry Dogbe has said it all. Is Mustafa Gbande right?
Thank you, Elaine. I think my brother has said virtually everything. But you see, I understand the NDC. And they have every right, you know, as far as the outburst is concerned. But let's look at the substance over the form. The form is that the EC should have informed them officially, either through writing or through any of their engagement platforms, either IPAC or whatever. Unfortunately, it didn't happen so. So the substance is that I just want to plead with the NDC and every other political party to hold their peace. Thankfully, there's an IPAC meeting on Thursday. I believe all of these issues can be ironed out when that meeting, you know, comes off, God willing, on Thursday. So I also want to say that the work of the EC is not mutually exclusive. All right, they need these political parties to work. And as much as the political parties need the EC also needs them. And so if you are working with people and then to some extent you hold information from them, then you leave them with no choice than to do or say whatever they want to say. engagement and communication is critical, especially in the 2024 election. Look, the election is about somebody who has been in government before, and then another person who has also, been in government for the past almost 8 years. And so
and he wants to break the 8.
We want to, exactly. And the person wants to break the 8.
And there's a coming back.
There's some form of history to be made in the 2024 elections. And so there's a lot of, tensions, from both backgrounds.
Parties.
Yes. And so I just want to urge the EC to tread on the side of caution. That as much as possible, it should engage the political parties at every step of the way. You are going to go through registration exercise. You are going to go through exhibition exercise. All of these things must be consistently, communicated to these political parties so that they are already aware. Then they also can relay the information to their grassroots people to get themselves ready. All right? But where you withhold information, then it becomes more or less difficult for them to also relay such information to their people. So I'm urging that as much as possible, they should be very transparent and they should be much more engaging going forward. And let everybody be at peace. Give the political parties what is due them. They will need the register. And so when it is ready, they do not have to come to the public asking. You know what you are supposed to do. So please, give them what is due them.
Engage the right channels.
That's as far as it
We've been
goes.
doing this for 32 years.
So
and we are still doing it. We are still where we are.
Every year, almost every election year, we go through this phase.
Loopholes.
And I wonder how long we are going to go through this. So I'm just urging the EC to sit and act.
Can the EC be neutral at all? Without any political party holding it back?
It is how you behave. Do you understand? Listen, people sit and then they have difficulty as to which political party to associate Afarijan with.
Right.
Exactly.
It was
You would
difficult
never
at the
know.
time.
Yes.
At the time, it was very difficult.
Yes.
You would never know, but now it's somewhat easy to tell.
It's so blatant. So blazing. Even by their utterances. Calling a political party, that they are a threat to Ghana's, democracy. A deputy EC boss talking like that.
The neutrality is
who
quite
had
questionable.
operator in the classroom and has products out there. And you talk like that. Obviously, it's because you have a military protection. Then you can behave like that.
Right in front of your
Unless, of
house.
course, also you could be afraid that, when a certain party comes, you're going to lose your job.
Oh, wow. Let's
You could
protect
be
our
yeah.
jobs.